Hey guys, this is Jeremy with Helicon, and in this video I'm gonna give you 3 pieces of advice for how to pursue long-term goals that excite you. I became a copywriter in 6 months without any degree in marketing, and I've been pursuing my goals for about 2.5 years now. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. You probably won't hear these messages from most people. I think that's because most people don't really pursue what they really want to be pursuing in life. They kind of pursue what they're given. So I hope you enjoy this video, and if you'll just bear with my weird lighting and set here. So piece of advice number 1 is that success is gradual. Going towards the thing that you want is always a slow climb. And once you have been climbing slowly, you'll reach the top of that mountain. But once you reach the top of the mountain, you'll see across the valley that there's a higher mountain and another thing that you want to pursue, or a higher level of what you've been pursuing, and you'll want to go get that as well. And then it'll be a slow climb, and you reach the top again. I guess in other words, I believe that success is something that takes a lot of patience, and it is just something that you have to be in for the long term. So when I became a copywriter, I studied writing promotional copy for like 6 months straight. Every single day, I got up early, and after 6 months, I finally landed a job. So, whatever you're pursuing will take quite a while and take a lot of hard work, but reaching the top there of that mountain is always highly satisfying, and it was for me. I know that when I got a job finally as a copywriter, I quit. I was a teacher. I quit being a teacher. I just decided I want to do this. I want to write for a living. And so when I got the job, I was so elated that I just jumped around my apartment, and I was like, yes, this is so satisfying. I did this, and I did this for myself without any degrees in marketing or anything. It's just something that I pursued. And luckily, copywriting, you don't necessarily need to go get a degree from college in copywriting. So that really worked out for me. Piece of advice number 2. So I believe that success is based on what you can do and not on what you want to do. So let me explain. It's important to focus on building a skill set, right? When I became a copywriter, I focused on building a skill set, and as much as you can, replicate the daily behaviors of the type of person who you want to become. And so when I decided to become a copywriter, I thought to myself, what if I just start writing copy and start writing basically phony pieces of advertising copy, and writing fake advertisements to build a pre-portfolio of work to sell to advertising agencies to get a job. What if I just act like I'm a copywriter, wake up early in the day, and then go to my barista job later on in the day? And what's really the big difference between what I'm doing now and what I did for those 6 months and what I'm doing in the office? And I realized that office or no office, that dream job that you're after is just play acting. It's just behavior. It's an acting behaviors of the person that you want to be. And so, yeah, granted, there's money involved when you're actually in the office and actually doing the job, but you can get very close to doing the job that you're pursuing, or going for the career that you're pursuing, whether that's in an office or whether that's something a little more entrepreneurial or something professional, by attempting to replicate the daily behaviors of the person that you want to become before you officially become that person. I think that's really important. I think that's a big tip here for how to become that thing you want to become. If you want to become a writer, write every day, or study a great writer that you love and replicate their behaviors and just start acting like them before you officially like become them or start getting paid for it. So tip number 3, piece of the advice number 3, success for you isn't what it is for everyone else. So for me personally, I'm not like my parents. You know, I'm not pursuing a certain career path just so I can get married, you know, buy a house and fill it up with children, which is a wonderful way to do things for some people, but it's just not for me, right? And what's for me is probably not for you either. So following a certain career path or a certain lifestyle that someone else has followed, that's success for someone else, but it's not necessarily success for you. And filling up a house with kids, that's success for someone else, but not success for me as I define success for myself. And that's a major truth, is like that you define success for yourself. No, your brain and your mind and the things that you desire are just as real as your parents and your grandparents and everybody else who's trying to tell you what to do with your life. And what you want to do with your life, that gut feeling that you have, is just as legitimate, even if you don't have it all planned out. It's really, really important to follow your gut and your desire for what you want out of life and not what other people are telling you. An important point here is that the advice of others is not always, or not necessarily, good advice for you. So when people give you advice, this is true. This is so true. I found this to be so true. Is that when people give you advice, it's not really advice as we think of advice. When people give you advice, it's not really advice. When people give you advice, they're actually telling you their story. What I mean by that is that when people give you advice, they're telling you what they believe has been the right thing to do for them. So for example, if you really, really want to become a professional artist and sell your artwork and become super successful and have your work displayed in front of stores and H&M and Anthropology, and you want to be this incredible artist who's incredibly successful and you make a lot of money and you're just great. Somebody else might tell you that you shouldn't do that, but what they're actually telling you is that in their very limited experience, it either hasn't worked out to pursue the job you want to pursue for them, or it hasn't worked out for somebody that they know, and they're just regurgitating their own experience of the situation, and it's not necessarily true for you, and I'll venture a guess it's just not true for you at all. If someone is telling you that something can't work out, that something can't be done, that you can't succeed in that way, here's my argument for it. Well, haven't other people succeeded in getting that job? Like, aren't there really successful artists out there? See, you're usually, the things that you want, you're usually connecting with people who have actually already accomplished those things. So what you probably should do is listen to those people who've really accomplished those things in order to gain some insight into what you should do. Because if you're a pretty intelligent person and you have passion to pursue something, then chances are those people who pursued that thing and actually ended up being successful in it, they're the stuff in them, the natural stuff, their brains and their level of intelligence and their ability to learn is probably not that far from your own. like especially if you view yourself as a pretty highly intelligent individual, what's different from you from the person who's actually done it? And what's probably different is the things they've actually done. So you need to study the people and take advice from the people who are what you want to become. Don't take advice from people, usually don't take advice from people who aren't what you want to become, because advice is just telling your own story. It's subjective and it doesn't necessarily apply to you. So to wrap up this video, success is gradual. Success is based on the skills that you're able to develop. It's based on what you can do. It's not based on an idea of what you want to do. And number three, success for you isn't what it is for everyone else, and you can't usually, or you can't necessarily listen to advice from others who aren't the kind of thing that you want to become. So please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm really doing the Gary Vaynerchuk thing here, and I'm just creating content for YouTube. It's not super polished or anything like that, but it would really mean a lot to me if you liked the video and you subscribe to it. And thanks a lot. Keep on pursuing your passions. This is Jeremy with Helicon, and I really appreciate you watching the video. Thank you. Watch out for the next one. Thanks.